little rivers, and he runs into this huge wall. And he sees this huge wall, and to them, they're little kids, it looks like the Great Wall of China, and they're just like, man, and his friends are like, man, that wall is too tall, it's too difficult. Nobody's ever climbed that before. And a lot of us have walls in our life. I had a lot of walls in my life that was holding me back from going to the convention. And what John F. Kennedy Jr. talks about is the kid, what he ended up doing, he said, man, you guys are chumps. You know what I mean? You guys, all I hear is excuses. I'm gonna make a reason. And what he ended up doing is he took his favorite hat off that was a family heirloom that his father gave him, and he threw it over the wall. And he said, I don't know about you, but I have to figure out how to get my hat back. Over, under, or through, I gotta figure it out, right? And so, what does that mean? That means buying a convention ticket and throwing your hat over the wall, right? And so the biggest thing, the second thing is total immersion. This is the sickest thing ever that I've ever heard. Take notes on this, this is awesome. This is the two things.
Write that down, sick. Sickest
ridiculous,
thing ever.
Okay? Total immersion. How many of you guys have ever taken like a foreign language in high school, like Spanish or whatnot, right? For 4 years. Now, out of those people, how many of you guys are fluent because of high school? None, right? And so what's funny is my friend Joe, he was studying French in high school for 4 years. He was not fluent in French. And what he ended up doing is he flew out to France, became a foreign exchange student, totally immersed himself in an environment where everybody spoke French, nobody spoke English, so he was forced to learn French. And so what we want to do with you, those people that are watching the simulcast or the people that aren't here, is basically, we don't want to teach you Spanish, right? We want to teach you how to become wealthy. And what's the best way you can do that is hanging out with wealthy people. So we're going to totally immerse you in an environment where everybody in here is there's a ton of people having success. And so that's what the convention is all about. That's why you want to bring people here, is because they get that total immersion. They're going to learn more French in 3 days than they did in 4 years of high school. They're going to learn how to become wealthy more in 3 days than a whole 3 years of going to secret academies. That makes sense.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I heard it said a long time ago that success leaves clues. You know, for me, I didn't come from a wealthy background. My father wasn't a wealthy man. My mom was a mom. And I heard it said, if you do what successful people do, you can get what they got. And that made basic sense to me, so I just said, man, if I can just figure out what these guys know and can say what they say and do what they do, I can get what they got. And they said not every single person at the event is making $10,000 a month, but every single person making $10,000 a month is at this event. And so that was a clue, and it just said, you gotta get around people like that. And so, yeah, all of us have obstacles, but I also heard Josh Denny say the other day is that, you get paid for the size of the problems that you can solve. And so if you want to be able to increase the amount of money that you're capable of making, you've got to be able to increase your capacity to solve larger problems. And it's interesting because my original mentor, when I was getting convention promoted to me, he said, Joe, I wish a ton of problems for you. And I was kind of mad at first, like, oh, don't put that on me. And he said, no, man, this is the story of overcoming, and the bigger the test, the bigger the testimony. And it was so true, overcoming the obstacles of financial challenges, family challenges, time challenges with work. All of those things now have led me to so much of what we're able to do now in helping bless other people out with their problems. So it's a good thing we had them. Good.
Nice.
How about you? Hello. We build this as a couple, obviously, and one of the biggest questions I always get is how can I get my spouse or my significant other to be involved in the business with me? And my first thing I always say is bring them to convention, because that's where I got my belief. We've been in network marketing for a lot of years, 20 years. We have 5 children. When we first started going, Tony just went to the conventions. And then one year it was in Salt Lake City where we lived, and he was speaking, and he asked me if I would come and listen to him speak, and I said, sure. So I came to the convention and walked in that room and immediately was electrified and felt something and knew this is where I need to be, and the belief was there. And I know it's hard, I know it's difficult to leave, your children. We had 5 at the time we still have 5 now. It's okay, they're all still here. But from 13 to 3, and it was difficult. But we found a way every time. I've only missed 1 convention because of a situation with a sick child. But other than that, I've been at every convention, we've been there together, and that has solidified my belief.
John, you asked the question why. I remember a mutual mentor of ours, Eric Worre, back in 2001, long before he wrote his book, Go Pro, he shared a story with us that impacted my life for the rest of my life. And he was telling a story about how at his very first convention, he went to the bathroom, and as he was coming back, he saw what would be John Malott standing out in the aisle looking into the audience, and he just got, shell-shocked, and he said, oh my gosh, this is the #1 income earner in the company. I need to go up and just introduce myself and, ask him a question. So he said he walked up to this gentleman and asked him, hi, he introduced himself and said, I just wanted to ask you one question. How do I become wealthy in network marketing? And he said, that's a great question, young man. I want you to do me a favor. Take a look out over this entire auditorium. He said, the way you become wealthy is this. Half of the people that are in this room will not be here 6 months from now at the next convention. If you want to be wealthy, be one of the people in the group that is here at the next convention. And he said 6 months from then, half of that group will not come back to the next convention. If you want to become wealthy, be one of the people that are in that group. And he went on to say that about 2 or 3 times, and he said all the rows that are in the front that you can see down there, all the people that are making 6 figures, 7 figures, every single one of those people made sure that they were at each and every convention and they never missed. That's how you become wealthy. So that's why you should be here.
Wonderful.
When we asked how many new people are here that never attended Seacret convention, it was like 2/3 of the room. And I'm a big believer that when we are out, we're in from all states, from all countries. When you just start, Seacret is like we like the big picture, right? The big vision. And when you're building and you don't have the big picture, it's like putting a puzzle together. If I give you a bag of pieces of the puzzle and won't give you the big picture, you will never put the puzzle together. So you need to see the big picture. You need to take pictures and see yourself in that picture. That's #1. Number 2 is whenever you sign up people and you have to take personal responsibility. When they fill out that form, they're not just signing up and they're saying, yeah, I woke up today and I can't wait to be a secret agent when they came to a WA party, right? They have a belief something sparked them. But when they sign a paper, they give you permission to work with them and not giving up on them. And there's so many times from the stage we said that we do not leave anybody behind. And that's the mentality you have to go to them before the convention, months leading to the convention. I have in the audience here, Jeff Parker, that had 3 people coming with him and double the amount of people, because it's not that people don't want it. Everybody wants to come to a convention. Why wouldn't they? But they don't see the way how they can get themselves there. So being a leader, you got to solve a problem for them. Say, hey, if you want to go, if I find 2 other people to put in the car with you, would you go? And they say, heck, I think I can swing $100 to contribute to go in the car. And then put them in the room, and before you know it, you will fill 2 or 3 hotel rooms with 5 people in each room, and you'll have 15 people instead of 2. And when I started, I was recruited from the convention. I came from Russia. And I didn't know network marketing, but when I came to a convention, it was the whole other world of people that make money, that you don't have to be smart, you don't have to have education from the United States, you don't have to have business background. You could be anybody and succeed in this and make 6-figure income. So conventions are vital. Your business will not survive without those.
Nice.
For me, it's vision. Vision. Right? Helen Keller said it best. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Unfortunately, inside of a WOW party or a sit down, when you're sitting with a few people, that's not enough to give people vision. Putting on products and talking about the comp plan and doing one-on-ones, that's not enough. That's not enough for them to realize a way for them to retire their parents or be with their family or be stay-at-home parents or get out of their job. It's simply not enough. They need to hear and see from other people that it's very, very real, and it just doesn't happen at a wild party. Right? They gotta come here. And one of the ways that was explained to me, which is amazing, is it sucks when people miss out on convention, because imagine trying to recreate what's happening right now. The people in your teams that aren't here, imagine trying to recreate what happened here for them. You can't. To chase down every single one of these leaders and hear from them, it'll take years and years and years to chase down all information to create the environment and the experiences that they're gonna have. It'll never happen. And that's why it's so important that you get your team here. You know, I've heard we have absolutely amazing training here, and it's the best trained army that wins. And even more importantly that, it's the army that has a mission that wins. And the mission's not defined in the products. The mission's not defined in the comp plan. The mission is defined when someone identifies their why and their reasons, and a lot of people's reasons are identified here in this very, very room tonight. So your team, their life, their future depends on them being here. So it's your responsibility as a leader to make sure that they're here and let other people, experts, deliver the information for you, deliver the vision for you. So I'm telling you right after this, we're gonna go on a sprint. We're gonna run, and here's what I don't want. At the next convention, you don't wanna be running alone. If you're here today, you're here alone. Maybe you have one person, maybe you have two, maybe you have five. You want to bring as many people as possible so you can have as big of an army as possible to bring it back to your marketplace. This is why you want to come back to the convention next time.
Nice.
If I asked you that there's one place where every answer to your question, every spark that you needed for inspiration, every nugget that you wanted, every key that you needed to unlock your future was in one place, would you do everything you had to do to get there?
Yes.
And most people say yes, and then they don't get to the convention. And I'm telling you that because that's exactly what the convention is. It is every key that you need from now until the next convention to unlock your future. It is that inspiration that you need for those down days when you're doing it by yourself. It is the leadership that you need. It is the camaraderie that you need, the unity that you need, the spirit, the fire, the spark, the ignition. It's everything, the catalyst you need to change your life. It's all here. And the best part of it is times thousands, and the relationships that you build, the energy that you get, and the people that you get a chance to learn from, that gives you everything you need and more to go home and make other people understand why this is what you do. And when you bring other people with you, now it's a whole bunch of you going, and everyone has that crazy secret look in their eyes, and people don't now just look at you as you're crazy, they look at all of you as you're crazy, and then that's when they join the crazies and we take this to the next level.
Everything you said is so on point. You know, you never find anybody at the top of the company that walks on the stage and says, "This is my first convention." I'm at the top of the company, and this is my first time at the convention. It just doesn't happen. And one of the things that you see so often, especially talking to those that are at home watching this, it's the intangibles that you can't see. It's the elevator talk. It's the running into Isaac Ben-Shabbat on the elevator and getting 15 floors with Isaac Ben-Shabbat in that personal time in the elevator. It's the talk that's happening in the breaks. It's the teams that you're connected to becoming more connected. It's the relationship. I was about to stand. It's the relationships that are being made. There's people that want to build in other places. You might want to build in California. You might want to build in Texas or California or Korea. And imagine building the relationships that are here. Now when you send your guest to California, you're friends with Dan, you're friends with Joe. You want to build in Phoenix, you're friends with Elena. You guys seeing that? You're building relationships here. So now your new guest is not a stranger in this new marketplace. Your friend is now Dan's friend. It's Tiffany's friend. Does that make sense? Well, they can't answer me at home, but you get my point. This is why you're in these rooms. It's for what comes out of these rooms. That's how you go from 4,000, 5,000 to 15, 25, 30,000. And you want to be here for the next event. And that brings us to our final question that I want you guys to answer. And you know how much time we have, so if you could just be conscious of that, and we got to divide that amongst the group. We want everybody out there to do what you did. That's really why you're up here. We want everybody, if we could just take you and just make 5,000, 10,000 of you, then it would be done. It would be simple. And that's why we do network marketing. That's why we build relationship marketing, so that we can get your system, getting you duplicating. Could you give those at home and those that are in the audience, give them maybe some action steps coming out of here? What should they be doing when they walk out of this room, when they want to hit the ground running? What should they do? Give them some action steps coming out of this event, quickly.
The biggest thing is become a problem solver. You could get paid in the direct proportion of the size of the problems that you solve. If you want to make little money, then put the cans at the bottom and the bread at the top. If you want to make big money, you got to solve big problems. And so I was lucky enough to have a mentor like Joe Valenzuela, where I had excuses on why I couldn't go to convention, and he didn't buy my excuse and co-sign on my failure. He had enough posture to say, you know what, that's not good enough. I'm here to help you succeed. And so that's what you need to do with your people. You need to go out there and just become a good promoter. You need to go out there and develop promoters on your team. You need to go out there. The only reason we do WOW parties, the only reason we do sit-downs, the only reason that we go to Seacret Academies, the only reason we do regionals, the only reason that we do this is not to sign people up. It's to get them to the international convention, because that's where their belief will come. And once they see who you've seen, hear who you've heard, hung out with you hung out with, read what you've read, then that's where the transfer of belief comes. Because there's people at home right now that are on your team that didn't see what you saw, didn't hear what you heard, didn't hang out with the people you hung out with, and didn't read what you read. So you're gonna come home fired up, they're gonna think you're crazy, right? And so the only way that you could get them to feel what you felt is you have to get them into this room at the next convention, become a promoter, be a problem solver, and develop promoters. It wasn't me that got first place, by the way, it was my team. I had a team of people that are better than me at promoting, that me and Joe helped develop, right? And they went out there and they got better than us. Like, look at Dan. He has better answers than me and Joe, right? This guy's a beast. Nuts. I love this man. That's it.
That's nice. I think if I could give you a specific action step on what to do, I say leaders always go first, right? And Gandhi said all the difference, said be the change that you want to see in the world. Those of us that would like to have a massive organization full of committed people that are registered for the event, that are showing up to their weekly events, that are on conference calls, be that person. You want to go out there and attract people to go out there and be committed to this thing, step up, get committed. It starts with registering. Obviously register yourself for the next event at the first available opportunity, but don't just register yourself. Here's what I would say, like Dan was saying about vision, is get tickets for the people that aren't even in your business yet. Get tickets for the people that you know. Put some skin in the game. So I'm going to get 5 tickets. I'm going to get 10 tickets because I know I'm going to be able to go out there and sell these to the people, get these to the people that aren't even in my business yet, that I know I'm going to be committed to getting here, right? And I've always seen that. The leaders that make that decision early, right? Jesse says it really good. It says, make sure that the tongue in your mouth matches the one in your shoes. Don't just give it lip service, but go to work, put your work boots on. And that's what it's about, guys, is making the commitment early on, step up, go lead by example, and then watch how the masses follow.
Nice.
Well, we're exhausted, but we're energized. And so we need to just go out there and not say, I'm going to take a couple days off, I'm going to take a week off. And that may have come out of my mouth at one point sometime, but it's gone now. So just get to work and be an example to your people. If they see you come here and they didn't come, and then you go home and take a break and don't do anything about what you learned here, implement it and go, and they'll follow you to the next convention.
Nice.
Great. At the last convention, Isaac told us we need more crazy people. One of the craziest people I can think of, the craziest hairdo, the craziest bling, was a guy that made more money than all the boxers that he ever promoted for. I grew up in the Muhammad Ali era, watched the greatest fighter in the world. And you guys know I'm talking about Mr. Don King. So here's an action step. Print off the craziest picture that you can possibly find on the internet of Don King and put it on your refrigerator so that every time you open that thing, you see that crazy guy, the crazy hair, the crazy bling, and become a Don King, because he created more wealth than any boxer that ever stepped in the ring, because he mastered the skills of promoting. So let's do that. Let's all print off Don King and get crazy.
Take personal responsibilities, not just for your business, but for this company. If you guys look around in the room, let's just assume or imagine we have 90 days until the next convention. It's in March. So you have a 90-day run that you can make a plan, and if each single one of you focus and get 25 people to conventions, now some of you don't even have 25 people, so you can go out and recruit them through the WOW parties. They will leverage and you'll get those people. But imagine if this whole auditorium, each person brings the 25 people to the next convention. How big is going to be our auditorium? How loud can we be? How loud we can spread the word of Seacret, right? But also plan. You cannot just come out of this convention and take a break from all the excitement and for a week or so. Right now until the next conventions, your days are really numbered. So I always tell people prior to it, bring your names list. So you guys probably already have your names list. You probably have your WOW party scheduled. If not, then this is the time to do it today and start working on those people today. Who you're gonna bring with you, so.
Nice. Come on, don't tire out there. Come on, bring the energy back, come on. On the home stretch.
All right, I just want to be real with everyone, that the reality is, even though you found your vision, that does not mean that you're going to win. I'm just going to admit this, that there are many people in my organization that came to the last convention that quit inside of the month of convention, right after. And I felt it inside of myself. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever felt this before, that Tim Herr was explaining to me that something called the law of diminishing intent. You're here at this level before convention. When you come to convention, you kind of go on a spike, right? Because we're energetic. Understand that this energy that we have, it's temporary. It's because we're here in this room. When we go outside of these walls, we turn back into creatures of our circumstance, which is the normality of being around normal people. So we're going to come back down. What's crazy is we're not going to come back down to where we were. We're going to come back even lower than where we were. Now, in order to protect yourselves, to make sure that doesn't happen, while you're energetic now, you have to book activity now. And don't just do it because we're saying it, because you hear that all the time. It sounds so cliche, I'll keep doing activity. You have to do it for yourself, because I guarantee you, if you don't do it, I'm telling you right now, if you don't book activity, if you don't pull out your planner, call people now, because the excitement in your voice will get people excited. They'll be curious enough just to want to come see you, just based on what's coming out, the energy that you have. If you don't do it, watch what happens. You will feel like crap. Because when a mind expands, it can never go back. Now, everyone here, there's no excuses. Your mind has expanded, you've heard information, you've seen the truth, and now you can't go back. So if you don't take action, you put coals on yourself. Just like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And it gets worse for you, and then people just fade and they just quit, because then they just get discouraged because they feel like they can't do it. Especially when they watch other people doing it around them, it makes them feel even worse. So while you're here, please, if you're a leader, get with your team. Make sure they book appointments here before they leave. This is not a party weekend. Even though this stops, the official convention stops this afternoon, doesn't mean the work stops. That's where the work should begin. Okay?
I will say decide and commit. Decide that you're going to be here and commit to it. And I don't mean just commit to yourself or write it down or even just get registered. I mean, when they tell us when the next convention is, put it in your calendar. Block it off in big letters and say, these days are for my financial revolution. These days are the days that I've committed to spreading the word about Seacret and making sure I get more people here. Because there are people who will buy 10 tickets here, but don't even have it in their calendar. And some will say, starting now in November, I don't know if my job will let me off. I don't know if I'll have a babysitter. And they will start making excuses months before it even is an issue. So what I suggest right now is that you decide and commit that you're going to be here. If you can't take 3 days for the rest of your life because a job has control of your life, you don't want this revolution. So I suggest right now you take those 3 days before you ask anyone. You ask yourself, you decide for yourself, you commit to yourself, and then you can commit to your team to get them here.